Hey, what is up, guys? Today I just wanted to talk about why I believe that Slag is a great mechanic and why all the criticism just doesn't hold up. I have constantly seen comments across YouTube or Reddit saying common criticisms towards Slag, saying that you have to constantly swap weapons, you are forced to use it, it takes an item slot, and it adds unnecessary steps to combat. And I believe that those complaints aren't even bad things for the player to have to manage, because at the end of the day, Borderlands is more than just a standard looter shooter. It is an RPG. And good RPGs require planning ahead and using the correct skills and gear to be successful. The challenge of Borderlands 2 is why so many veteran players are still playing the game many years after launch, and why other games in the series just aren't as rewarding to play, with more formulaic looter shooter feel, where there's less strategy and just point and shoot, which has only gotten worse as the series went on and more players have gotten bored and returned to BL2. Slag helps a player to get better at the game and play more strategic. That requires you to match elements on correct enemy types, have the appropriate skill points to complement your gear, and using the right gear in the right situations. Slag enhances the gameplay loop because it gets the player comfortable with not relying on one weapon and gives grenades more utility than just damage or healing. It adds a layer of strategy and challenge to how you approach enemies. You can't just run and gun all the time, meaning you have to utilize each Valhunter's debuff abilities that sometimes can apply Slag, makes abilities like Death Mark, Kunai, Scorn, Ruin, Double Up, Sal being able to offhand slag weaponry, and Krieg popping in and out of Buzzat Rampage for slag. You also aren't even forced to use it for 9% of the game or even on UVHM. It isn't until you unlock OP levels where it becomes a real necessity to have, and people have been in the game with no gear on base UVHM. 4. Now, because I love slag as a mechanic, doesn't mean I believe it's flawless. I think that there needed to be more slag abilities added to each Fall Hunter, and maybe instead of giving Krieg, Gage, and to some extent Sal uses melee overrides, maybe those abilities could apply slag similar to how Scorn works in Maya. That way it gives non-melee characters more incentive to actually use melee in combat. And while people view Cryo as a good replacement for slag, I believe the mechanic was simply just way too overpowered. It allowed the player to completely freeze a target in place and do over 200% critical or explosive damage, and 250% to melee. Plus, it even further buffed itself, so why even switch weapons? This is why I believe Slag is a good mechanic, and most of the counter arguments against it are that it's heavily mitigated by the Vault Hunter and build you choose to use. And if you still hate Slag, there is always Slag Queen Maya for you to never have to use a Slag weapon ever again.
Hold it! Silence! Gotcha!
You've already lost!
Please stop. Stop struggling.